Woohoo! Hey, so I'm Alison Chang, and I'm here for iGirl with Katie Bressack. Bressack?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Perfect.
Who is the founder of KatieBressack.com. She's a nutritionist and a wellness coach, and I'm so happy to have her here today. Hello, Katie. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks so much for
Good.
having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So what was your idea or your motivation to become a nutritionist?
So I was living in New York City. I was in corporate for a really long time. I started in publishing. I went into marketing, worked for Alloy, a teen girl marketing company, for a really long time. And through that went into like digital ad sales. And around 28, I got really sick. I wasn't dying or anything, but I had a sinus infection that felt like the worst thing in the world. And I was sick on and off for about a year. And I went to like 10 different specialists, and nobody knew how to help me. I went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist who wanted to give me sinus surgery. I went to like doctors who kept giving me antibiotics. And I just kept getting sicker and sicker, and I was missing work. I was really stressed out. I was just at a really low point in my life. You know, whenever you're not feeling good, everything else just bad happens, you know. So I finally found a holistic doctor who listened to me and asked me questions like, how was the stress in my life? Like, what did I like to do for fun? And did I like my job? And I didn't know anymore. Like, I know when you ever get to that point where you're just not sure what direction you want your life to go in. I just knew that I needed to feel better. And it was the first time a doctor had asked me questions other than like checking my pulse and my sinuses and things like that, because she knew there was a deeper reason why my body was reacting the way that it was. And she gave me a prescription for neti pot, probiotics, yoga, and meditation. And yes, I had the same look on my face. I was like, what? I don't understand that that's going to help me. But it did. I remember walking home and kind of not believing anything that she told me. But, of course, I was in New York City. Of course, I would walk by a natural foods market. I walked in. I got a neti pot. I got my probiotics. And I started doing yoga. I'm still trying to meditate every day. That's something that I'm trying to make part of my life, that, you know, whatever you're most resistant to is what you need the most. But that's something that I'm still trying to add in every day. But I have not had a sinus infection since. And that was like my aha moment, because I had been sick my whole life. I had horrible allergies, colds all the time. I have to say that I have not been sick since October, and that's the longest time in my entire life that I've gone being healthy. And it's changed everything. It's helped me grow my business. My relationship with my husband's better. I feel calmer. And for me, what was causing that, and it's different for everybody, and I think that's what the whole diets, nutrition, wellness thing out there, it's like we're trying to put everyone into different boxes, but all of our bodies are different. So what worked for me might not work for you, but for me, like, whenever I get stressed, I get sick. Whenever I have too much dairy, I get sick. And I never made those connections in my life before, and I finally took control of my health, and I became so obsessed with yoga. I decided to be a yoga teacher. And like through that process, I kept getting questions from women of like, well, how do I do this? How do I eat? How do I move my body right? So then I went back to school to become a health coach and really a new health and nutrition coach to really help women feel better and change their lives, because that's how my life totally changed. Like when I finally realized that I was the one in control, like I could make decisions, because we're not ever taught to listen to our bodies. But our bodies are so wise, but if we're too busy, we don't even know what our body is actually trying to tell us what it needs. So I think like I was 28 when I started making changes. 35 now. I've never felt better in my life. Like I feel better now than I did in my 20s. And every time I tell people how old I am, they're shocked. They're like, give me your ID. Like they don't believe it. So I'm a true testament of like how changing your health and wellness just changes your whole life for the better. So
wow, that is quite the story. I mean, you seriously don't even look a day over 20. I'd be like, I could see you around here, and I'd be like, oh, she's in college. Yeah. That's
Thank
crazy.
you.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of, business and taking control of your own life, how did you kind of transition into growing your business? And, now you're this very successful wellness coach for a bunch of people. But you also teach yoga. So how did you go from, having this idea and helping people to turning it into a business?
Yeah, so it was one of those things that as soon as I realized what I wanted to do, I didn't jump right into it because had this very pragmatic way. I was like living in New York. I, in some way, really wanted to be this like CEO, women executive that was going to change the world, So it was kind of gradual. Like I decided I wanted to become a yoga teacher, so I got certified to do that. And then I was in digital ad sales at the time, and the last job I had was just not a good fit. I had left Alloy to go somewhere else, and it was then that I realized that this was not what I wanted to do, and I started like saving money, taking the steps to kind of do that. And when that job ended, that's when I went back to school, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do with my rest of my life. And that's when I fully committed. So it took me a few years to step into that, that moment of being like, I'm letting go of the steady paycheck, I'm letting go of corporate, I'm just going to do what I'm passionate about, and it's going to work out. Like I was just so ready at that point. And then once I was like truly ready, everything just started happening. It wasn't like an overnight amazing success, but there was never a point when my body or my mind was telling me I was on the wrong path. When I was in corporate, every job I had, I was like, I don't think this is it, but I don't know what else to do, so I'm just going to work really, really hard to get promoted. But it never felt like a natural fit. And now that it does, every day gets better and better, and that's just the amazing thing about me and having my own business and stepping into that empowerment. And I think, fear gets in the way of us a lot, but when we're finally ready to tell it to shut up, our ego, right? It's like, no, go away, I'm not listening to you anymore. That's when the big, amazing changes in our life actually happen.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Words of wisdom is everything I'm like trying to absorb. So do you have any advice for especially women in the field, or did you face any struggles that just were unique to being a female in nutrition, I guess, or just starting your own business?
I think like starting your own business in general, I think that as women, we think about everything. I mean, we have so many ideas that we don't even know where to start. And I think, even now, like when I'm working day to day, something comes up and I realize that I just need to write it down, get it on paper, but not change focus. Where, I have brothers, I'm married now, and I can see like men are just so linear. Like they go from point A to B and they don't stop until they like finish. Where women, we're going up and down. So we're very creative, and men are too, but we get to the end very much slower because we get unfocused. So I think women in general, it's just, having support, like having somebody hold you accountable, but at the same time, not get overwhelmed with all the amazing ideas that you have, and just get one thing done that you do really, really well, and then add on to that. So I think that's like kind of the biggest advice with women in general, which I've seen as well. A friend and I are the LA co-chapters of the Young Female Entrepreneur Group, and we have meetings once a month, and it's kind of the same thing. It's like, well, we have all these ideas, all these things we want to do, and it kind of holds us back because we don't know where to start. But I'm just, once you're ready to start, just do it, and it will improve over time instead of getting unfocused.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I totally understand what you're talking about. I have all these ideas, and I'm pinging, and I never actually, get on the track to starting it. It's definitely a lot slower, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there any one piece of advice that you want to get? You mentioned that you're with entrepreneurs in Los Angeles. How was that for you, and what sort of wisdom do you impart on them?
Yeah, so it's a national organization started by Jennifer Donahue, who lives up in Seattle, and a friend and I took it over the LA chapter in January. If anyone lives in LA, it's the first Tuesday of every month we meet, and we have a guest speaker come in. We had Amanda Loveland this week, who came in and talked about like the 5 unconventional ways to like grow your business. So I think with any entrepreneur, women or men, you know, when you're starting out, it's really important to be surrounded by other people who have the same aspirations of running their own business, so that you can bounce ideas off each other, and you're not alone. I mean, I work from home. I'm by myself. I have a puppy, thank goodness, that I can talk to during the day, you know. But you're alone a lot of the time, and sometimes, you know, you just need some support so that you realize that you don't have to do it all by yourself, that there's someone else along with the ride for you. And I think that as women, we like communities, and we like to be surrounded by people that inspire us, and I think it's so important. You know, I was reading the other day, and it's like, always surround yourself by people that aspire you to be better than you are today, and I think that it's so important to find inspiration, because you can get stuck at home in your head and never make progress.
Mm-hmm. So just on the line of, you know, organizations that bring like-minded people together, I heard that you were at the CEO boot camp.
It was so empowering. I have to say, Amex did an amazing job of putting together this program with, I mean, Allie Webb was there she's the owner of Dry Bar. I can't remember her name, but there was a woman who started her own private jet company and now flies around like George Clooney, which in itself is amazing, you know. But to be surrounded by women who were where I am today, you know, starting and really growing a business, to see them make these huge leaps and doing it knowing that they didn't know what was going to happen, but that didn't matter. They just really wanted this so badly, and it was complimentary, which is incredible. You know, I go to conferences all the time, and none of them were as good as this conference, that they were basically helping women out, and met some great people, great women who, you know, were part of the CEO aftermath was being part of Mighty Bell, which is an online community, and there's just been some great conversations since about people meeting up or like helping each other with business, and just starting that community, hearing women specifically talk about what their blocks were, how they made it through. And I think we all, on one level, it's fear that stops us so often, and just watching them, you know, just be like, you know, F it, I'm going to go for it anyways. You know, I just think it was just very, very, very empowering.
Mm-hmm. So do you think to get more women, you know, involved and to take those risks and to put fear aside, that we should hold more of these conferences, or should we, you know, educate younger women about these opportunities? What do you think we should do?
I think in general, I mean, I think that women entrepreneurs is the new feminist movement. I truly believe that we are so creative. If you look at some of the new things that are coming out in the market, they're women who are creating these things. And we like to think out of the box, so putting us in the cubicle in a box is not going to help us do anything creative in this country or even grow. So I really think it's so important to inspire women at any level that they are, but just reaching like younger women starting in like elementary school and really showing them that you can really do anything that you want, but but it doesn't have to be that traditional way to go about it. You know, I think things are changing slowly, but I look back at like my education, and you know, I had a great education growing up, but how come there wasn't like how to budget or like investing and financing, like things that are practical? So I think if we can educate women at a young age to really love money and really learn how to manage money and then grow a business and be creative, I think we can change the way the world is. And I really do think that that's where our place is at any age, is like showing younger women, especially little kids, that they don't have to grow up and be the traditional person that we're kind of forcing them to be almost.
Mm-hmm. That actually just about answers the next question I was going to ask. Is there anything, like a one-sentence type of thing that you would say to a young girl who's trying or who wants or aspires to be an entrepreneur and wants to kind of follow that path?
I would encourage her to get a mentor, like someone that she loves. Like, reach out to anybody. You know, I think if you love, I don't know, Hillary Clinton, you know, write her a letter. You know, reach out to who you want to be, because you would be surprised at how flattering that is and how women want to help women. You know, I think like there can be some cattiness and jealousy within women, but I think the more that we help and support each other, the more that that's going to go away, and that we're really going to grow and be able to help younger women not feel like that, pressures and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So just back to your business and your journey, is there anything that your biggest challenge, I guess, when you started out? What kind of adversities did you face when you were starting?
You know, I think adversities, you know, it's more like, how are you going to help me? Like, what do you know? It's like kind of stepping into that place where I know what I can do. I know I can help women change their lives. I know I can help them balance their hormones, you know, lose a stubborn weight loss. Like, I know I can do that. It was almost like how to step into that so people don't ask, well, how can you help me? Like, in that way, I think it's stepping into that confidence and being so confident in what you do that people see that and believe that and don't second guess you, so that you don't second guess yourself.
Mm-hmm. And what's your favorite part about what you do right now, if you had to pick just one?
Oh, goodness. Oh, that's hard. I have to say, like, yesterday I met with a client. It was our last session. We had like a little celebration, and I liked to just look at her and see the difference that just a few short months makes. She was sitting up taller, her shoulders were down, she didn't feel like crunched in and hiding, she was open, she looked taller, she was so in tune with her body. I love the whole process of supporting women and helping them with their health, but really seeing somebody at the end when they're starting their own journey by themselves and really taking the tools I've given them to succeed and seeing that they're a completely different person and that they really love who they are and the skin that they're in, that is just so incredible. That's what I really love about what I get to do.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you keep in contact with a lot of your clients after they've finished?
I do. I always reach out to them on their birthday. I email them all the time. I call them. You know, it's like they're my family. It's like my little children, I guess. I don't know, but I like to hear how they're doing, and and sometimes they'll call me and they're like, I feel stuck, and then I can just, 5-minute conversation, and then they feel better. And if I can continue doing that forever, and I always tell them I'm here for them, and I think some people say that and they don't follow through, but I make sure that I send little notes and keep in contact with them so that they never feel like they are by themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's really great that you could. It's really like building a relationship.
Yeah,
I guess,
totally.
That extends beyond just what they originally signed up for.
Yeah, because I think life happens, right? Things happen, so like you can be feeling really good and then have an off day, and then you're having the off day. Like, I don't want you to fall back to the old habits. Like, call me, I'll help you, and then you can move forward, because that's the whole thing. Like, we're all gonna have off days once in a while, but it's how to not go back and just keep moving forward, and that's what I'd like to kind of keep in contact with, just in case,
Mm-hmm. So do you have anybody like that who or either takes care of you or inspires you or motivates you?
Yes. So I have to say I have amazing women in my life who are building their businesses. There's one in particular, Gabrielle Norton. She and I meet once a week. She and I are the LA co-chapters of YFE, and we're just constantly helping each other, growing our businesses, but just like being there as friends too, and listening to our frustrations and different things that might happen. I had an amazing business coach. I have an amazing mentor. So I've really built a community of people that I can call who are okay with me calling them too. So that's why I want to continue the circle. Like, so many people have been so nice and full of great information that I want to kind of continue that and help other people too.
It's so great that you get to, there's that one that you get, but you're also giving back to the community in your way.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow. Is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody needs anything, like, you can find me at katiebressack.com. I do a weekly newsletter full of, like, health and wellness tips, and if anyone has any questions or wants to talk to me about their nutrition or wellness goals, like, please reach out at any time. I'm really accessible, and I would love to kind of support and help you, or even just answer questions about how to grow a business. You know, I've done it. I know kind of what you should avoid and what to do, so if you're in that spot too, just reach out, and I'm more than willing to kind of share what I went through. So,
well, thank you so much, Katie, for taking the time to talk to me and the rest of us at iGirl Tech News. And I guess that's it for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.